Hey, hey, hey!
Hey.
We get a good morning, Didi.
Good morning, guys.
Good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful world. Welcome to the HardForking YouTube show.
Do you know you went like that and you had no arms, Didi? It's like your arms got cut off.
Okay, yeah. You can see your arm over here. There's my arm.
It's like there's your arm. It's just drawn on.
So, hey. Bitcoin's been a little tougher to trade this week.
Oh my God, Bitcoin's a bitch. I hate Bitcoin. It's like, it's dead to me. Dead to me.
Oh, Lisa. Tell us why. This is a charting show, but I think we'll have a quick fundamental chat, eh? And then we'll get into the chart.
I had this target on Bitcoin of 12,000, I think it was 200 or something. And the CME chart did it. No exchange did it. So, and the exchanges all did this weird curl and then died. So, you know, I step away, I moved my stop up luckily enough on this one, and I step away and I come back and I'm like, fuck, Bitcoin died again. It's like, so that was my week.
You stepped away. You went and visited somebody, did you, instead of staying?
No, I didn't.
Trading for us.
I didn't. I actually just went downstairs and got a coffee. I came back upstairs and it was like, yeah. So I actually, when I went out on Saturday night to see Adam, it was like, I didn't have any. It was not Adam back. It's like I had no trades. No, it is not him. I had no trades open, none. So, except my alt trades, and they're fine. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
No Bitcoin trades. But on that note, he told me he doesn't watch the show, so I can say this. So I woke up in the morning. I open my eyes. He's sitting.
He does.
Probably. So I'm in bed. I look over. And he's sitting there and he's on his blockfolio. Is he like the most perfect guy ever?
So he wasn't looking at you, but he was looking at his blockfolio. Okay. Yeah. Hey, he sounds perfect to me. Yeah.
Lisa, did you have a news article you wanted to have a quick look at first? And we'll just have a brief discussion on this. I think, Didi, you did a video on it recently as well, which I'll post a link to below.
Yeah, so there's a couple of articles that we were just talking to. So one is Iran, and the government has started mining. So, and as Didi was saying, they're doing it through government power plants. And anyone who mines, you know, in their house or sets up stuff is getting, you know, arrested. And they found 1,100 illegal Bitcoin mining farms in the country. Obviously Bitcoin's big money, and you know it's not a really rich country. So yeah, so the government's in on Bitcoin on this one.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
The government's in on Bitcoin as well because they've made BitMEX do KYC in 6 months' time. An end of
well, I don't think that's a bad thing. So you're all looking at like this, like it's a bad thing. It's a really good thing. I know Didi doesn't like it, and I know Didi's like directing everyone to different exchanges. But I'm just going to tell you, Didi, all of those exchanges are gonna have KYC. So if they're going to hang around, they're going to have KYC. So yeah, but it's just going to happen.
I believe that is going to happen, but as long that as these exchanges are not doing KYC, I think it's more, it's better for people that are now accumulating their Bitcoins to do it in a non-KYC way. I don't see the positive part of KYC. I just see the influential part of the regulations of the governments again, and that was exactly why we didn't start crypto, in my opinion. But that doesn't matter for me, because if all these exchanges go to KYC, I foresee that in the future, these all decentralized exchanges will be growing tremendously, as we have seen in the last couple of weeks. You know, we did more on the decentralized exchanges in June than we did in the whole year of 2019. The more these official ones are going to do KYC, and they will never die off because they have the biggest marketing and everything. But I think these decentralized exchanges will pop more and more because, you know, people just don't want to do KYC on everything because that is exactly why we believe in crypto.
Yeah. So the other article that I was looking at was China. So Cambridge University has done this study where they've got, they found that 65% of the world's hash power for Bitcoin is coming from China. So there's also a thing happening at the moment where the Chinese authorities are paying the miners to withhold the Bitcoin. So that's a good thing at the moment to continue to keep Bitcoin bullish, but long term, I'm not so sure it's a good thing. So just with, you know, having that much power over Bitcoin, and especially having 65% of the hash power means that they can do, you know, they can basically bring Bitcoin down.
Yeah, I need to agree with you that it's kind of centralizing the hashing power, but on the other hand, I think it's very positive as well because, you know, you see this hashing war now all over the world. I think America only has about 7% or something, and then you have China with 65%, but you see Iran now, who just said was around these power plants to mine, they are around 4%. And
I think Iran over the last, it was saying on one of those, on these articles, that Iran's up to 8.5% of hash power.
Already now?
Yeah, already.
Wow.
So within like a month, they've doubled the hash power that they're bringing in on Bitcoin. So that's another bullish thing. So when we look at like the hash power.
But could Bitcoin then be the new oil? You know, we fought all this war about oil in Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Maybe Bitcoin becomes this new tool for the governments, you know, stable store of value. You see all these huge companies now exchanging their fiat reserves into Bitcoin. So maybe Bitcoin will become this new government.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming something like that because, you know, with these hash wars that are, you know, heating up, it's going to become huge. So if we have a look at the global trading map for Bitcoin, the majority of the traders are centralized to the United States. So we've got a pool of like 55% of the traders for Bitcoin and for cryptocurrency is in the United States. And, you know, the SEC are trying to throttle that and restrict how Americans trade. So they're all trying to get around it at the moment. You know, China doesn't so much trade because they've got so much Bitcoin there. They're kind of hodlers and, you know, they're moving into other sort of currencies in the you know, cryptocurrency sort of ecosystem, like Link, like Tezos, like those sort of ones. So, you know, and then we've got new ones coming into the market like DOT, which is a totally new protocol and, you know, amazing sort of new technology.
I have an interview with one of the lead devs from DOT, which
it's
will
like
be on the
isn't it?
Yeah, Polkadot.
Yeah, that'll be up on the channel on Thursday, people. So please check that out. I'll just take a very quick opportunity here to plug our new show tomorrow. This is obviously a technical analysis show. We'll get into the charts in a minute, but we've got a bit of a competition show launching on Tuesdays with the HardForking team. It's a race to get to 1 Bitcoin or 32 Ethereum. As part of that, we'll be copy trading Lisa on the Prime XBT platform. There's a link below to that. So Lisa will be making some pop-up appearances throughout the production of the show. I'm sure Didi will as well. So that's out tomorrow, people. So please subscribe to the channel now. And yeah, should we jump into some charts, people?
We should jump into the chart. So now, Sean was saying that he joined Didis Red Dildo Club.
Show me some red dildos, Lisa. You know, Sean, you need to, sometimes you take them green, sometimes you take them red, sometimes you take them and they blend.
That's true, mate. Didi, most of the time I've known you, it's just been a pure green dildo of an experience.
Yes, my wife prefers the green ones.
What wife doesn't prefer the green ones?
Yeah. And she also likes the Tarzan one. The Tarzan one is a little bit more pinkish, so yeah.
So should we have a look at some dildos from this part?
Yeah, I tell Adam I need the green ones.
Been a mixed bag, hasn't it?
Oh my goodness. We digress. So, okay, my crazy, wacky, wild charts are back. So I pulled everything off this chart, and I've had another look at it, and I've decided that the wick may have just broken down just due to the velocity of like that coming down and stop losses and everything. And it may not necessarily be like the, you know, sort of what we were, you know, after basically. So hang on, I'll go to a different chart. Let me find it. Where's my charts gone? I'm doing this. This is like Sean's all organized, and here I come in, and it's like my charts because you got me to do new stuff first. Here we go. All right. So this is BTC. So this is a 45-minute chart, and I just want to show you something that there's a channel here. I had a different channel drawn, and I've pulled off all the waves, and there's this channel and this strong support here that we keep touching to. Now, this support broke with this big drop that we had, but I really think that was sort of like just stop losses, and I'm going to ignore the fact that that's there right now and go back to this strong support that we've got along this region, because we keep coming back to this region. And the other thing is, with this chart, so if I draw the channel this way, ignoring this wick, I then have this top wick here. I have this wick here. We're going to touch, which we've just done. We've touched the 200 MA, which I said would happen on Twitter. So we've just touched this 200 MA. We'll probably drop back down to near this support, which is about 11, sort of 500 to 11,450-ish. And that puts us into a third wave. So we're going in, and this is the wave that I was talking about that we're going into. And when we go into a third wave, they're the fastest and the swiftest wave within the pattern. So being as this is a third wave of, you know, the greater third wave, so every third wave that we have within this third wave, so we'll have 3 of them, is going to be quite huge. So if we count this wave here as our first wave, like overall, so in our larger pattern, we've come down, we've completed our second wave here, and we're going into this third wave, which is going to take us way, 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 way up. So if we pull back, we've probably got about 14,000 on this wave. We'll have quite a big drop. And then, you know, we've got a 16 to 17,000 rise if this is a third wave. So we could even get to our all-time high on this wave, depending on if FOMO kicks in. You know, and with the, you know, countries like Iran and China and starting these sort of hash wars and withholding their Bitcoin, they're not selling it, they're holding it. Then, you know, Bitcoin's going to become more scarce, more valuable, and this is going to only increase the price of Bitcoin. So once we get out of this really, really choppy channel that we're in, which has been almost impossible to trade, then we're going to start, you know, progressing with these, you know, this third wave. So we've come down. So if we count this as correction complete, and this is like our first of our third wave, this next wave is going to be like 11,500 to the top of the channel is 12,700. So it's a $1,200 candle. So potentially on this move. So we've got another one of those big explosive candles on the way. So, and that's why I'm saying that, you know, we've got some bear tears on the way on this one. So that's pretty exciting.
Very good.
That's very exciting. I just was in shock. I was in shock you called it a candle.
I know. Sorry, it's not. We've got this giant big $1,200 green dildo coming on the way. So yeah,
but I think it's really cool because the hashing power is also at an all-time high, isn't it?
yeah.
So the miners are really trusting Bitcoin to go up because else they wouldn't be devoting all their hashing power to Bitcoin. I think it's a lot of positive things in there. Science.
Yeah, there's so many positive signs that continues to say that Bitcoin's going to go up. So, you know, we've got these tether prints at the moment that when you sort of trace the trail of the money, you know, and I've talked about this over the last couple of weeks where they're sort of concealing it lately and putting it through AAVE and Nexo and companies like that. And borrowing, you know, the collateral. So, you know, you can get $1 million and you're paying $70,000 a day. And, you know, really it's nothing. It's nothing when you're making that much in alts and then you're moving that money into Bitcoin and you repay the debt. So you're up every time. It's like they're not losing.
Aha.
Yeah.
Starting to understand how that's all working.
Yeah. So, so this is if we go to the 45, we're coming up here, we should reject, this is a resistance within this area. This is the chart that I had on Twitter this morning. So we should get to about 775-ish, and then we'll drop down a little bit. So being as this, I do believe that this is the first wave in this pattern. So if we take those off and we sort of look at this. So we've got our first wave happening here, and then we'll come down, we'll retrace and then go into that third wave. So, you know, first, second, and then up to that explosive third wave, fourth wave, retrace within the channel again, and then, you know, continue higher. So, you know, this is going to be like a big next wave. So we've got our channel up here. So, you know, this is this target that I've been eyeing off, this 12,700 that we just haven't been able to get through. And, you know, continuing in this channel, we get to this pattern, we come back down, we correct again, and we continue higher. So yeah, I really think, you know, I'm seeing all of these things again on Twitter that, you know, the gap needs to be filled and, you know, all of this stuff. So, and if we have a look at this pattern, it's actually a really cool pattern. Like if this happens this way, so we've got our inverted head and shoulders. It's on a little bit of a diagonal here. We'll come down for that wave there. And then, you know, this is another pattern that I love, like trading. So we come up, we've got here. So we're hitting these wave targets. So we've got 12,300 here on this subwave, which is the next wave up. So if we were going to break this down into waves on this next wave up, so we'd have, you know, our first wave here, second wave here, like, and, you know, that's how we would move through that subwaves within this wave sort of system that we're going into this third wave. So, you know, we're going to hit this target here on this inverted head and shoulders, continue up, and then hit the channel resistance. So I really don't see us breaking down at this point. I don't know how it's even possible to break down at this point, like with all the stuff that's happening with, yeah, what we've talked about at the top of the show. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think at the same time, Lisa, we could also see, yeah, we talked about it already, you know, the 1 billion Tethers going to an exchange, but that was like a swap. But we can also see that the exchanges, I think, are holding the least amount of Bitcoins they've been holding in the last 2 years. So I think the amount of Bitcoins on the exchanges is way below the level that we saw that exchanges held before the March crash. So I don't think we can see this March crash again because there's not enough Bitcoins. Like
no, there's not.
Bitcoin.
But the other thing that's happening is a lot of these Bitcoins are getting moved off the exchanges. We're seeing that, you know, Link and Bitcoin and Tezos and, you know, all of these coins are getting moved off the exchange, and they're getting moved in and they're getting wrapped and converted into Ether. So it's like, you know, there's all of this sort of stuff happening in the background because this DeFi movement is so huge that, you know, they're needing all of the coins. So they can't mine enough ETH, they can't get enough ETH. And, you know, the price is increasing so much. And the price to move ETH at the moment is just so high and so extreme that, you know, they're looking at other ways to get money into that DeFi sort of market.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's becoming the underlying asset on a lot of those projects, which I think is incredibly amazing and extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Some people don't see it that way. I certainly do.
Yeah, I certainly do, because it's tied up. It's wrapped and it's tied there and you can't move it. So, you know, when you're staking these coins, you give them permission to hold those coins for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, you know, and then the other stuff that's happening is to continue with the volatility in the market. The CME are taking out, you know, additional shorts and additional longs, and you know, so depending on how long they're taking those out for, they could be short term. So if they're taking out short term, shorts, they release long into the market. So if last week they took out the majority of like weekly shorts, all of those are going to release this week, and that's going to give us that $1,200 candle. So, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, the CME are taking all these shorts. It's a good thing. Shorts sell long. So we're going up. It's, to me, it's like, it's a no-brainer. It's like, that's what they're doing. So, you know, we have gone down. They were able to take the shorts out. The market did drop, and now it's going to go long again. So, you know, you've got to look at the overall sort of stuff that's happening in the market, not just like Didi says, zoom out, look at everything, and then, you know, go and live your life. It's like Bitcoin's going up, guys. Put your trades in, and it's like, yeah, you know, if you're not in a margin trade and you're just in a spot trade, you can buy anywhere and you can DCA. So, you know, a DCA means dollar cost averaging. So if it drops a little, you put a little bit more money in. So
that's why I'm going to copy trade you, Lisa, with part of my stack, so I can have a life. You stay in that chair. You be nice to her, Adam.
Keep her there, Adam. Keep her there.
Keep her.
I'm calling Melbourne government again. Please, lock down.
Oh, but it sounds like we're going to be locked down forever. So.
Oh my God! Can I tell you a short story?
Yes, Didi.
Because then you have.
I'll share the screen
for the first in the show. So I booked my flights into Austria because they had this master plan to fly into Austria, stay there for 2 weeks, because then from Austria I will be allowed to fly the rest of the world. Because from Spain, you cannot enter any country anymore in the world, because then you need to go in quarantine. So I had this master plan of going into Austria tomorrow. And then yesterday, Austria came out with news. They updated the COVID rules since today. So now if you want to fly into Austria, you need to have tests and all that stuff. You need to pay these tests yourself, 140 euros per person. So that's like 700 euros for my family. Yeah. And then when you test positive, you need to stay inside for 2 weeks. So now we are not flying to Austria tomorrow because of this. This whole shit show is really disrupting my travel plans, but it's also making it a really cool exercise and to be creative. So I'm searching for some new plans. So if anybody out there listening, help.
You could be like me. You might be stuck in Spain forever. I'm stuck in Melbourne forever. I think I'd rather be stuck in Europe forever. So I don't know
about that, but I don't want to be stuck anywhere.
Isn't Melbourne the Europe of Australia?
So they say. Oh, if you could get out of your house, I'm sure it would be.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So from my house, it's not really. All right, let's go back to these.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Ethereum. So Ethereum had the most brilliant correction ever. So it literally nailed the support, bounced, and yeah. So it's the most bullish chart I think I've seen in quite some time. So perhaps I should be trading this on Prime. So they do have Ethereum, and it might be much easier to trade than BTC is right now. So yeah, so it's had a retrace. It's only had a 236 retrace, which is a super bullish retrace. The reason being, obviously, because of all these DeFi projects, we need Ethereum to buy the majority of them. If you're on any of the DEX sites, you're in Ethereum. If you're in what is it? I can't even think of what it's called. What is it? The Uniswap. That's it. Yeah, Uniswap, the chop shop. So yeah, so if you're in that, then you're in Ethereum, and you're buying ETH to buy these projects, and hope you're getting rich quick. And that's kind of what this all is. Everyone's all excited. It's it's 2017 again. They're all getting rich overnight.
Taking by the end of the year, the race to 32 Ethereum, hence the name of my new show.
Yeah. So Didi tells me the other day that he bought a certain coin at 200. He bought 200 of a certain coin or token.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's now rich. Yes.
I'm filthy rich. YFI. I bought 200 YFIs at $1, and they went up to $15,000.
Yeah, so Didi forgot to give us that tip in the Green Dildo Club. So yeah, so look at Sean's face. Look at Sean's face. Hang on, I've got to stop share so everyone can see Sean's face.
You didn't buy YFI, Sean?
What? What?
YFI, the coin that went to 15K.
Is this a fill and a shill scenario here?
No.
So YFA is Yearn Finance.
Oh, Yearn Finance. I've been watching that pump. Yeah. This is Yearn farming. Okay, Didi owns all the Bitcoins and all the YFIs now?
No.
Yeah, so he owns 200 YFIs, and when you do the math on that, he's got $3 million from $200.
Yeah, I probably did math when I told you this.
Yeah. So when he told me, because I was like, oh, did you see YFI today? And he's like, yeah, I bought 200 of them. And I'm like,
you didn't believe that.
I'm just like, are you serious?
Oh, no. If I would have bought 200 of them, I would be surrounded with green dildos at the moment. I can tell you that.
So no, did you buy them? No.
No 200. I just bought 2.
See?
Lisa, oh my God. You really thought I bought 200?
I really thought you bought 200. I was what the hell, Didi? Why are you still talking to me? Why aren't you in the Bahamas?
Sean would have understood my sarcastic joke and humor, but
I'm just like, where was my tip off?
Yeah, I saw this. I just saw the chart. I was like, what is this? So I texted you. Oh shit, I know you were sleeping. So I texted you I bought 200 YFIs a while ago. I thought, let's see your reaction when you wake up and help on and see this green dildo at 15K higher than the Bitcoin price. So sorry, that was a joke. No, I just bought 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
because Arthur Hayes tweeted it, and it was almost the price of 1 Bitcoin. But, I'm hesitant to do anything Arthur Hayes does, because normally he's dumping on you. And, when he had YAM, it completely died. So, at that point, it was sort of just under, when he was tweeting about YFI, it was just under the Bitcoin price, and now it's gone beyond the Bitcoin price. And, there's such a limited amount of tokens on that project that, and such high demand, obviously, that it's going to keep growing. So,
Yeah, we're looking at yield farming and how this all works. And my show tomorrow, it's still taking me a little time to wrap my head around some of the concepts.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it all works. And
a lot of it seems like as long as you jump out before the other people, you're going to be okay.
I think that's the same with anything. As long as you jump out before all the other people, you're going to be okay.
It's the same with a lot of things in crypto, Lisa, except for the one that you currently have on the screen, which I'm a big fan of.
This was like I was staring Sean up the other day on Twitter because every time I put a trade of the week up, he doesn't take them.
I took this one.
He took this one halfway through. So literally
it's only just beginning.
Literally halfway through.
That isn't financial advice. It's fundamental.
Hang on. Sean's done 55%. My trade of the week's done 108%. So that literally means he took it literally halfway.
Lisa, if I'm half as good as you, life will be fine.
But when did you buy this one? I didn't see this trade of the week.
Yes, you did. You were on the show.
No.
So this one was 27th of July. This might have been the show that you snobbed us.
We brought it up again last week. So I just think from a fundamental point of view here, they're just about out of tokens, which for their business model means they're going to have to start buying them back, which is only going to put upward price pressure. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. So with obviously the Brave browser and a lot of the projects that they're having that they reward users with tokens through BAT. And, if the company doesn't have tokens, how does that business model work?
Yeah. So it's a business model that works well. This isn't 100x for me, but it's definitely something that I think will keep creeping up. Maybe not.
Yeah. And we can see by the volume coming into this chart, massive amounts of volume coming into this chart. So they really do. And there's still plenty of room. This is a daily chart, still plenty of room to move on the RSI for this to continue higher. So at this point, we're going to get a small correction. We may not drop this low. We may, sort of stay higher. We've got a support through this region. So I would expect maybe we'll come here, maybe it'll be sort of a more sideways sort of movement and we may not drop that low. But if you're wanting to get into BAT, I would start laddering into this region. If it doesn't hit sort of 3.5, then, you're going to get higher orders. I don't see an issue that if you are laddering into this, that it won't continue up. So I think it's a long-term sort of really good project and, it's going to really continue. So another one that I've been looking at and sharing with you guys is waves. Now, I've just changed this chart because there's massive things happening with waves. So waves is actually the background protocol that is going to be running the Russian elections. So they're going to be using that to people vote online and they do their thing and waves is the protocol that they're using. So with the movement in waves, so I think we're going to get a really big third wave here, especially once the voting for the Russian election starts happening. If they don't poison all the other candidates, then we're going to actually get an election. So, yeah.
I heard they were planning a tea party.
Yeah, I wouldn't be drinking any of their tea. So it's especially not Putin's tea. So no. So
so I should be buying that.
Political advice, people.
That is political advice. Don't drink the Russian tea.
Yeah.
KGB will come and get me. So do they still have KGB? Or is that a Hollywood movie thing?
KGB.
Yeah, isn't that like the Russian sort of CIA?
You'll find out in the next half hour, Lisa, if someone kicks you.
Yeah, James Bond is working there, but then the Russian part.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, so anyway, so waves, I believe on this next run up is going to see a huge $10 mark. So You know, we've already had this big bounce where we've nearly hit 5. So this next wave pattern is going to be massive, and we're going to see $10. So it potentially could do what Link has been doing. So Link has settled down a little bit at the moment.
Damn it, Lisa!
So
I'm going to have to get a small amount of waves now, so you two don't mock me again.
You're going to have to.
1 second, Sean. The last time I bought waves, Lisa told me, Didi, you should buy waves. The last time I made 130%. So if I buy back waves now, Lisa, how much percent I'm going to make?
So if we buy back now at this point, because we
you sold it, Didi.
Yeah, we were in really good profit, so we sold those. So our next wave is a tidal wave, and we're going to make a huge, like 260% on this next one.
Okay, I'm going to buy waves back again.
Yeah,
Right, so I need to concentrate here. What has it done? It's corrected down since you guys sold?
Yeah, so we bought down here in this region.
Yeah.
And then we made 130%. It took a little while to sort of start moving. I had this trade on Twitter, Sean, so you could have taken it. You could have taken it.
No, I'm all over this now. I'm fully focused.
Yeah, so we've had a really nice correction. You know, it's not it's quite a bullish correction actually. So you know, it's moved in a strong ABC. We've had a strong bounce. We'll probably have a little bit of a retrace here, and then we're going to explode up again. So you know, all of these charts, and this is what makes me believe BTC is about to explode as well. So when I look at the alt charts and I look at how they're correcting and what they're doing, you know, I can sort of see that we're at the, you know, the final stages of these corrections, and we're going to start moving again. So, you know, when people are saying BTC is going to go down, it's not going to go down. All of these alts are nearing the end of their correction. BTC is in a slow sideways movement. You know, we always get that sort of slow sideways stuff while the alts are finishing. And, it, you know, it's like BT says, I'm going to let you finish. And it's like, who says that? Kanye West or something. And
or Adam. Or Adam.
Slap. So
I'm only buying, listen, this is clearly not financial advice from me, because I'm only buying some waves, so I don't have to take shit from these two if it does pump.
Well, waves is going to pump because, you know, last week, Sean, wait. I've got to sort of bring up a chart, because last week we had like a 10-15 minute conversation about this chart, about what it was doing and what the fundamentals were. And this is Omniset Go that you said was one of your first.
I'm leaving the room for this bit. I'm leaving the HardForking room. I've been chasing these guys for an interview, and they went completely quiet right before this pump. They were obviously very busy.
They've been very busy with this chain swap, and obviously with this Omniset Co coming on as a payment layer to Ethereum and to everything that's happening in the DeFi at the moment.
So has been added on there as well, which has been
So there's all these different payment layers that are added in, and you know, cause OMG to really sort of pump. We're in this correction, which is moving really strongly and really nicely at the moment. We're coming up into our B wave, and you know, this is going to be going into the future, a really, really strong coin. So obviously it took forever. And at one stage,
3 years.
yeah, literally. And it's like at one stage I pulled out of this trade, and I'm just like, this was our trade of the week way back, I think, when it was down here. So it was like in May or something, we had this as a trade of the week.
One of our very first ones, I think, Lisa.
Yeah. So it got to about this point, and I'm like, I'm done. It's like, it's taking forever. And then it started to get the curl, and I've brought it back. So, you know, I jumped back into this trade, and I'm like, okay, and then I sat in this trade for another month or two. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is literally, oh my God, this is going to take forever. So, you know, and then we had this big conversation about it last week about, you know, what was happening with Ethereum and these payment layers. And literally that night, the chain swap was happening. I didn't realize it was on OMG. I thought they were doing the TRX chain swap first.
Yeah.
So they did the OMG one. Woke up the next morning and I've got all these like tweets going, what happened to OMG? Where, you know, what, you know, I'm like, what? So, you know, so one of the guys on Twitter said that he was rebranding OMG to OMFG. Oh my fucking God. So it's like, because literally when you looked at the chart, it was nearly 500% here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Sean.
Oh, look, I don't know, Lisa. I mean, that's just such a huge pump. What, I mean, how do you even read a chart like that to make a call at this point?
Sean, don't you realize she knew the swap was going to be on OMG. She didn't tell us. She knew that we were going to switch from TRX to the swap on OMG.
Yeah.
And now she's saying, no, I didn't know. I just woke up. She did know.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I did do a whole like 10 or 15 minute segment on it. We talked about it for a long time.
Look, from a fundamental point of view, I've always been a fan of this project. In fact, it was one of the very first coins I ever bought. And it's just been a heartbreaker for me. So I've literally chased them so many times. I've been swapping emails with them over the last couple of weeks to send the guys in Bangkok along for an interview, which we'll hopefully have for you in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so
I want to look them in the eye before I buy any.
It's a really, you know, it's got some really interesting stuff happening on it long term. So, you know, this is in this point here where we're correcting. I hope it doesn't go sideways for another 6 months again. But I do really believe that, you know, this being a sort of a payment gateway to Ethereum and, you know, with Tether sort of combined is a really, really good thing.
I think from a fundamental point of view, I think anything in that category right now that is layer 2 on Ethereum is absolutely where you should be looking for.
It is. It's like, you know, there's a couple of different sort of charts that we need to look at. Like another one is REN, which is coming on. BCH is doing a split.
You have that on. You have that chart. I have a couple of people have asked me for that actually.
Yeah. So hang on, let me bring that up. I can actually.
Have we got loop ring today by any chance?
I can have a look. So this is being. Let me bring up REN. They're just throwing this one on me, guys. So.
Oh, I just I didn't actually. I did ask you for REN.
No, you asked me for Ant. So
right.
Yeah, so this is REN. So I've got the BTC pair here and I've got the USD on the other side here. So we can see this is a 12-hour chart on both. We can see that the RSI is extremely oversold. We do need to correct. We're coming down at the moment. So we're in this correction point. Our MACD has absolutely maxed out and we need to correct on this. So what's going on with REN? So BCH is obviously in the midst of this chain split. There's going to be BCH. There's going to be another new coin, whatever they decide to call it. And, you know, obviously...
Hard forking, are they?
They're hard forking again. And obviously Roger Ver wants to keep the ticker for BCH. And, you know, a couple of exchanges have actually got trading competitions on them. So I think Kik has got one and I can't think who the other like exchange is, but yeah, so they've got trading competitions on BCH right now. But REN is the protocol that's coming in on BCH that is going to help continue, like Lightning is to Bitcoin, you know, with the transactions and keeping the speed and doing all of that. So, you know, with REN, so I say long-term target, all of the, I keep putting these long-term targets on these charts and they're like a month. So I suppose in crypto, a month is long-term. So, you know, we're going to go almost to $1 on REN. So, and once we kind of hit that point, we're going to continue. So we will, obviously, when you get to those sort of pivotal points, sort of like Link got to $20, I actually thought Link might push through. I thought that was kind of a little bit obvious that it would correct at that point, but they went for the
We'll let you
obvious.
off, Lisa. You were pretty damn accurate on it.
I was pretty damn accurate on the retrace, so that was okay. And I had some orders waiting there. So, but with Ren, yeah, so we will get this correction at this 99 sort of cent mark, just under the dollar. And then we're going to continue up. So in the next sort of, 6 months, we're going to, this is my daughter walking through, we're going to see, this sort of doubling and tripling just as being the payment protocol for BCH. So it's the same as what we were looking at for Omnisec Go, for OMG last week. So if we're looking at sort of, you want to keep looking at the layers of how these, chains are working and how these they're splitting and what they need to keep the function going. So and when we look at that, so that's when we come to these like Ren and we come to Omnisec Go. So with DOT, which is a new chain that we've got, which is Gavin Wood. So, huge stuff he's done in the industry. Let me find my chart. There we go. So DOT hit the exchanges and it was like $200 to $300 for one DOT. Now they've split the dots into 100 dots. So if you had DOT when they were sort of, $200 to $300, you've now got 100 dots and they're worth, a hundredth of that price. But at the split, they split at about, they split down here. So the split was about $3.60 and we're now at $4.11. So, that's quite a nice bounce since that split, and we should continue up because there's, we've got a 13% move so far on DOT since the split. So we can see that we've got this wave. I suggested that it would come down. We're in this pattern here where we've come down, we're touching the support. We've got a strong support along this line. We've actually dipped down a little bit, which is okay. I don't mind it sort of, dipping out. That sort of shakes out anyone that has their stop losses just under the channels. So, if you're trading something like this, you want to have a loose stop under a channel. You don't want to have your stop just under the channel because, whales, anyone who is trading this, they know where the stops are because, most people will go, oh, it's not going to break the channel. I'll put a stop there. And it's like the whales go, it's going to break the channel. We'll take your stop. So, and then you've got to rebuy higher. So DOT might sort of continue along this support for a little bit before we go higher. I really see that we're going to see 5.9 on DOT, which is the high here on this pattern. And then we'll correct down. So this is, it's in a strong channel. We've got this is where we dropped in. So we dropped in down to $1.99. Obviously, the price shot up as it does when they land in. So we've, $4.40 and then it settled for a little bit. So the Binance chart, they didn't have DOT. They didn't split DOT. It was pre-split when it came into Binance, Huobi, OKX, and I can't think of where else had it. But so they all had DOT at the more expensive DOT, and then it was chain split and divided into 100 DOT. So
can you imagine people that were owning like a lot of dots at $400 and they wake up without reading the news and they see the DOT at $4?
Oh my God, could you imagine it? It's like, yeah. But the thing is, if they had like, say, one DOT, they would have woke up and gone, oh my God, I've got 100 dots. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Just to remind the audience, I have one of the key people from that project who I believe may have just actually left doing an interview with me in the next couple of days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're looking for some real info on what's happening at Polkadot coming up this week.
So in regards to what I was talking about with payment layers, and looking at stuff that's associated. So I've been talking a little bit about a product or a coin or a token called ChainX, which is, I think the ticker is PCX, which is strongly associated to DOT. And the other one is the Raiden network. So I think they're ones to look at. They're still quite sort of tame right now, while DOT's still sort of, getting into the sort of ecosystem of crypto. It's only very new, so word's only just starting to come out. But this is, again, a really exciting project because it's completely different, again, on how it works and how it moves. So we've got your normal blockchain like your Bitcoin and those sort of projects. And then we've got your Oracle projects like, Chainlink and Tezos and so on. And then we've got DOT, and this system works completely differently. So, yeah. I think, we talk about Ethereum killers and doing these things, and it's like DOT potentially has, I love Elrond for the mere fact that it could be an Ethereum killer. ERD is, huge, and the DeFi stuff that it does is massive. And we saw that massive move of, 3,400% when staking became available and everything on that. But, DOT moving into the market and the project that it is, it's like, so they wanted to build on Ethereum, I think it was, and they just couldn't get it to work. So they built their own chain. And this is what Polkadot is.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to dig into that project.
Yeah.
And buy a shitload of DOT.
A key player from that project on Wednesday, so it'll definitely be posted by Thursday latest.
Yeah, so guys, if you're watching
those
this,
likes, subscribe to the channel,
smash the like button.
But whatever you're doing right now, smash it.
You need to create a pop-up.
Yeah, you need a pop-up. It's like smash. Yeah.
Pretend there's a pop-up. Smash.
The green dildo hitting the like button.
So this is a project that I absolutely hate, but I'm going to bring it up because a few people are asking me about it. It's like, and it's shielded on a couple of other shows, and I really don't understand why, because, obviously they tie it into like all of these, like Elon Musk is associated, and it's associated with electricity companies and, all of this sort of stuff. But the pattern's really shit and it just doesn't move.
I don't think they're going to send you a t-shirt, Lisa.
I don't care. There's so many other coins and tokens you can trade, and it's like, it's
moving on then.
It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. Okay. And it's like, they may prove me wrong, and it may spike and do this stupid third wave that is potential. It could have some big news. So this is Energy Web Token, and so it's got a very consistent consolidation pattern, if you want to look at it that way. So, it's had strong sells, and if you have a look, it really hasn't moved the market. So it has as much money coming into it as people like getting annoyed with it and moving their money out. So, if you're willing to hold long enough, it's probably going to make this huge big bounce. So if we look at that and we're buying at this point, we potentially have 170% bounce here, which is not out of the realm of possibility with the Elliott wave and the Fibonacci that we put on every time. And most of the time these charts do make it. So, I've had so many people on Twitter ask me about this, just due to the fact that a couple of big influencers are like really pushing it. So, you know, if this pattern can get out of this consolidation sort of formation that it's in at the moment, then, you know, 170% is possible. I don't know how long that's going to take. So, you know, this could be like Omniset Go, where we went for like literally 6-7 months in a consolidation pattern. And, you know, so many people pulled out of that coin because they were so annoyed with it. I know Sean was one. I just like to rub that in every 2 seconds.
She really likes you, Sean. She really likes you.
Copy trading Lisa from tomorrow. So I'm doing everything to keep her happy at the moment.
So that's Energy Web Token. So potentially it can do 170%. Time, who knows how long it's going to take. So this is the thing, like, you know, I put a chart up on Twitter, everyone's like, oh, is that going to be this week, is it going to do this, is it like, time is this thing you can't predict in a chart. It's like, I don't care if anyone says that they can't. Like, I can predict where it's going to go on, you know, what level that you should be selling, or, you know, if it goes to a certain level, like on Energy Web token here, it invalidates the pattern, and, you know, we go into a different pattern. So that's what Elliott Wave does. We always have 2 patterns, and, you know, we know which way they're going to go, and we've got these invalidation points. And that's Bitcoin has not hit any invalidation points. So that's why I'm still incredibly bullish on Bitcoin.
Very good.
Okay. Next.
Not
exciting, this one. Next.
No, it's not. It's just
out. I hate you, Energy Web Token.
Yeah, I really hate you, Energy Web Token. So
sounds like Power Legend to me.
Send Lisa a t-shirt, Energy Web Token.
I don't think they're going to send me a t-shirt somehow, Sean.
Definitely not.
No, they'd be like, Lisa sucks t-shirt or something.
Or
so this is iOS. So we've been looking at this over the last couple of weeks. So there's some big stuff happening in iOS, and then obviously I'm hearing sort of whispers and news coming out, and it's not stuff that I can talk about yet, but iOS is going to like literally explode. So this is one that I would put in a little bit of money, because I think it's
not
really
financial advice.
It's not financial. Never invest any more money than you're willing to lose. Like, and always have money management when you're taking these trades. So, you know, if they do go the other way, yes.
Are you just telling me to go all in iOS?
No.
Why not?
You know what happens when you go all in, Didi, don't you?
That works out pretty fine. You have a beautiful life.
Media follow you around, and you become a reality.
I should do the trick again, but now on iOS. If iOS is they need to. I lost you guys.
Where have you gone?
He's run to the toilet. He's on his phone again, buying iOS. I think his pictures, pretending his picture's frozen. Then he'll be back. All right, iOS, whispers, rumors. Have a look.
Whispers, rumors. You know, make sure you have a look. Make sure you get some.
No, you're not allowed to say that. You're allowed to say you're getting some.
I've got some.
You're not allowed to give financial advice. This is not financial.
How many do I need?
If they want to be like Lisa, then they have to get some.
You want to be like Lisa?
So be like Lisa. Lisa's awesome.
Oh, good God. Okay. What do we got next?
Join the Green Ditto. So I just want to share. This is what happens when you go full retard. Can we hear this?
No, you never get the volumes, unfortunately.
Dustin Hoffman, Rayman, look retarded, act retarded, not retarded. Count 2 picks, cheated cards, autistic, shut, not retarded. Then Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. Slow, yes, retarded, maybe, braces on his legs, but he charmed the pants off next to him and won a ping pong competition. That ain't retarded. He was a goddamn war hero. You know any retarded war heroes? You went full retard, man. Never go for a retard. You don't buy that? That's Sean Penn, 2001, I am saying. Remember? Went for a retard. Went home empty-handed.
See, that's what happens. So when you go full retard, you go home empty-handed.
Okay.
So
that's actually my favorite film. That film. It's
I love that film, but that particular scene is something that I've used for a long time, like throughout Discords and stuff. That
download it now because no doubt
So-
culture will remove it.
Yeah.
From all human
So-
history.
So when you think about like when you're trading and you put all your money into one coin and then it's like omni-set go and everything else is popping around it, and you're all in 100% an omni-set go, and you're sitting there and it's like, oh my God, I'm full retard. And yeah, so then you pull all your money out and you miss the omni-set go. So if
Just
you
copy trade Lisa and have a life.
so if you have but
I'm planning on doing.
this is not financial advice, but I just want to break down again how my wallet is sort of split up. So it's never, ever, ever in all in one coin. So I'm never, ever full retard. So I have 25% BTC, which I have in 3 trades. So I have a long-term trade. I have one that I'm sort of like day to week trading, and then I have a scalping account where I just
Lisa. So the copy trading, I'm obviously putting a punt on you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably a good thing because I've ironed out the bugs.
But I mean I mean, what sort of strategy are you taking when you're using Prime? Is that are you sort of? I know there's sort of different people on there. You can go with ones that are more aggressive, or how, can you tell us a quick bit about how that all works?
Yeah. So
I mean, in other words, if could I just be sitting there and you're like, I really like BTC long term, and you're not really doing much trading, and and
well, technically that's
what, 100 grand, or how does it work?
Well, it's going to be a slow and steady. So technically it's a day trading account for me. So it's not going to be like a mega high margin thing.
These 100% moves we see with these alts, it's more.
Yeah. So it'll be sort of, trading the larger moves. I'm not trading every single wave within BTC that can do your head in because they don't always move the way that you want them to move.
Yep.
So it will be like a day trading strategy on that account. And we've ironed out the bugs that because it was such a large fund, or it is such a large fund, that we're creating sell walls. So there's, I've got a few sort of things that I have to do within the account to sort of to buy in and to sell and to move out of these trades. So yeah, so it's been a kind of a learning experience for me with just, the size and the volume and the depth of the account. So and just how, sort of Prime sort of works.
I'm joining at the right time. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. So anyone joining now, I think you're joining at the right time. So,
so making like 10% a day?
Yeah, we should make sort of, sort of depending on how Bitcoin's moving, at least 3% a day. So 3% is an easy move. On some of these like green dildo moves, we're going to make sort of 10 to 20% within those moves. But they're not, I'm not mega high margin on any of these trades. A couple of the trades I have had have been sort of 15% margin, but most of the time I try to stick to, a sort of a 10 times sort of margin within there, which is very low level. A lot of these accounts that are in there that are, high percentages are doing these 100 times trades, and they don't have stop losses, and, they're sort of disappearing, reappearing. And yeah, so the day that my stop loss got hit, and we lost, I think, 10% on that day, 4 accounts disappeared because they got liquidated. So I'm not going to get liquidated. That's not something that I'm going to do. So yeah.
Okay. So are we, any other dildo charts to look at? We still need a coin of the weeks.
Coin of the weeks, yes.
Wheels has trudged along. So we'll let that one. Are we letting that one spill out over another week or two, or looking at a new one?
Yeah. So Let's
or
move.
are we moving out of it? Do you think?
What, moving out of our coin of the week?
We're not weeks.
Weeks.
Actually, on that note, I know Wink had a nice move. Could you have a quick look at that chart for me and tell me whether you think
Yeah,
that's old
so
or a...
Wink's still a hold for me. So
Yep.
let me find the chart. Oh my goodness, there's so many charts here. When
had a
Let me
little
do it.
pullback like most things did over the last week?
Yeah, so everything would have pulled back over because Bitcoin had a pullback, so the whole market pulls back. Yeah, so we've literally just completed this internal fourth wave correction. We did 100% on Wink. So if we put some larger wave pattern on here, we've got 5, we've come down for our 4, and we'll go up for our 5. So we've got another 100% coming within this region. So if we buy in this pink buy zone here,
Yep.
you can literally, like, it's almost going to double the money. Not financial advice, of course.
If we don't call it financial advice, what do we call it?
We call it
what Lisa's
well,
doing.
this is what Lisa's doing. These are my trades. So, you know,
The
if
name
you
of this
wanna-
show is What Lisa's Doing.
what Lisa's doing, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Doing Lisa.
so if you want to join the Green Dildo Club, so from this point, you're going to get 88% on this trade because we've
I don't
bounced
think
a
she
little
heard
bit.
you, Didi.
I'm ignoring you. Look at him cracking up. I can see him out of the corner of my eye just cracking up, and I'm just like, I've got to like just put the blinkers on and ignore him. It's like,
Okay, that was Wink, people.
so,
Ant.
and I haven't got an ant chart. Wait.
I sprung that on you at the last minute, didn't I? I'll let that one slide.
Okay, so my trade of the week this week is Elastos. It's a really random coin. So but there's some really cool things happening with it. So it's on Hobby. I'm pretty sure it's on a couple of other exchanges, but I'm trading it on Hobby. I'm going to be buying it, laddering into about this range down here. To within this is sort of my buy zone. We're in a second wave coming down at the moment, and then we've got a big third and a fifth coming up. So, you know, if it corrects down, well, it's not going to go that high, but it's just decided it's going 700%. So, which is possible because it's got this same pattern that I love and I keep talking about, where we're curving up. The volume's increasing as we're sort of curving up. We've got this volume increasing. Our RSI is sort of curving up. It's quite cool at the moment. This is a daily chart, and the RSI has come down. We're sort of central on the RSI, and you know, this is going to be a really sort of strong moving chart coming up. So, you know, we've got 240% on this chart potentially. So if we go to this third, we've got 170%. Coming up to our first target, we've got 94%. So, you know, it's got some good movement. And this is Elastos is my chart of the weeks. It's not gonna be a quick one either, I don't think. But you know, it has got this strong curve coming up. And we've just completed this first wave, which is what I like to see, because the third wave is the wave that you want to be trading. So the third wave is always the longest and the strongest dildo that you'll ever find in the world. It's the biggest green one. You guys are just sitting there just like, yeah. So, you know, when you're like, you're the three little bears. So I'm like Goldilocks in the three green dildo.
Lisa, if you had to pick one green dildo in the next week, what would it be?
It would be
Adam.
Bitcoin. Yeah, it would be Saturday.
All right. No, because I'm in this race with the other lunatics from HardForking, who two of them are just absolute hardcore shitcoin traders. So I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I really
Yeah,
think
but you and Dee-
Bitcoin's like the pick of the week, because we're going to get that really big candle again on
Right.
Bitcoin. So we're going to get that $1,200
Okay.
dollar candle, and you know that third wave is like the one that you want to be sort of choosing. So it's like, you know, Goldilocks comes in. I should change this on my chart. So Goldilocks comes in and she goes, no, that dildo was too small. Don't need it. It's like,
Oh my goodness.
and it's like, and she's like, then she goes to the next dildo and she's like, oh no, that one, it's a bit better, but it's not quite as good. And then the third dildo comes in and she's like, oh my God, it's just right. So yeah. So she trades it. What did you think she was doing?
What have we learned this week?
What did you think she was doing? She was trading the green dildo, Sean.
Yes, she was taking it. She was taking the last trade.
She was taking the last trade, that's it.
Okay. So what have we learned this week, people? Didi, what are your takeaways? Apart from a bit of a twist on a fairy tale.
Do you want to have a serious takeaway or a beautiful fairy tale story takeaway?
Oh, lordy, lordy.
I know one thing. I know one thing for sure.
I know you know
Sean,
more than one thing, Didi, but tell us, what is this one thing?
Yeah, one thing for sure is that Adam is a very happy man. He gets to play with a lot of green dildos. He starts with a small one, moves on to the bigger one, and then she ends with the biggest one, which, creates the biggest wave.
He tells me he doesn't watch it. He better not be watching the show.
Hey, Adam.
It's like,
And then all these dildos create this huge wave, and this wave creates a pool where a big whale can swim in, and then this whale splashes out this huge another green dildo, and that is the 1K Bitcoin dildo. That was the fairy tale. The rest, Sean, I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to trade as much as possible. I'm listening very carefully to Lisa's trades now and then as well, and I made some profits over there. I'm figuring out where to go next because, you know, all of this travel.
You have a good tan again.
Yeah, Spain is bloody hot. It's like yesterday I went hiking. No, not yesterday. The day before I went hiking with a Scottish guy, like 11, like a real Scottish guy. You really need to, hear very carefully to understand these people. And then, but he told me, Didi, I know all the mountains here. Let's take a hike. And I was like, maybe if I hike this mountain, Bitcoin will like follow, and I will lead by example. I will go to the top, and Bitcoin will go to the top. The video was published. Bitcoin is still not to the top, so Bitcoin is lagging. But it's beautiful in Spain. It's bloody hot. The sun is shining. You can go outside. If you go into nature, you don't need to wear these filthy face things. So
I'm pleased you like it, because it sounds like you're effectively stuck there, huh?
I am stuck here now, but we are figuring out a plan. Brazil came up to the radar yesterday because Brazil is completely open.
They are completely open, but like my daughter River's there, and like they've still got some stupid restrictions as well. So she's in Rio, and
so yeah, I mean open to travel there. So for me, So the big problem is now that so we made a list of countries that don't have these rules of wearing a face mask and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that are where I'm able to fly from Spain. So that could be Portugal, that could be Brazil, that could be Mallorca and Spain, the island. That's an option. So we are thinking about it. But maybe we stay here for 2 more months in the area. And
I lived in Spain for a couple of years, and probably the 2 months I enjoyed the most were September and October. I mean, the weather's still great. It's still 30 degrees. The food is amazing. And I just don't like the mentality of the people. But they all tell me it's from the Franco regime in the old days that they always listen to the governments. And I don't like, that they all listen to this story about how this killer thing is killing everybody while it isn't killing everybody. There was one doctor in the news, which was amazing. And this newswoman, this lady, she was doing the interview, and she was like, and we're going to have the second wave and this, and we need to test. And this doctor was like, no, there won't be a second wave. Don't make it worse. It's nothing is happening. The hospitals are empty.
And this loose lady kept, smashing him like, no, it's going to be terrible. And he's like, no, it's not going to be terrible. If you are going to test everybody for this one, we should test everybody for darm cancer as well, because the chances as big to get that disease as this disease. We are not going to, have everybody tested because of cancer. So why would we test everybody out of COVID? So he kept doing this. And then this interviewing lady, she took a friend into the news live as well, one of the men in the studio, and he started smashing down on the doctor. But you see all these people die. And then his doctor told these two interviewers on the video, listen, am I the guy working in a hospital? Am I signing the death certificates? Are you not the guy just sitting there in the studio? What do you talk about? I know what is happening. Nothing is happening in Spain. Yes, we are testing more and more and more people. So the test results show us that more and more people have it, but less and less people are dying. Of course, when you test more people, you get a higher result in COVID infections. But not more people are dying. We should be focusing on how many people are dying.
But yeah, so as we progress though, like, and the strains sort of go through the community, we're going to build immunities to these like different sort of viruses and everything. Not everyone's going to get the same sort of like effect that, it kind of affects like elderly people and those that are already sick. So, my mum's got chest infections and sort of serious stuff like that. So if she got COVID, she'd probably not, but, do well. But if she got the flu, she wouldn't do well either. Yeah. So, she gets a flu shot every year. And yeah, so it's kind of those sort of people that we need to worry about. It's like you and me that are strong and healthy are probably, if we did get COVID, we'd get sick.
How are you coping with the lockdown, Lisa? And how long are you on lockdown for?
Oh, forever. It just, I don't know. They're talking about extending it. They were saying in the news last week that flights are not going to resume until like July next year. It's like, it's so stupid. Like I can't, like Didi, I can't even go anywhere. It's like, if I want to like go to Europe or if I want to travel, I've got to get an exemption. I've got to, do 2 weeks like quarantine if I get to Europe, then I've got to do 2 weeks quarantine when I come back. And it's so that you've immediately add an extra month onto your travel, like if you want to go anywhere. So
I'm in the same boat. I've got 2 weeks left on my visa where I am, and not entirely sure what happens from there. It's all a lot of disruption for pretty much everyone on the planet at the moment.
I think I would go to Copenhagen if I had a
choice.
choice.
If I could get there, I would have been there months ago if that was a possibility of it. That quarantine in Thailand looks like an absolute shocker that just don't want to go through that.
Yeah, so the Thailand one is like a crazy sort of, like cell and everything's lined with plastic and it looked really creepy. It looked totally creepy. It looked like Dexter stuff. It really
They're completely back to normal there now. They've pretty much removed all restrictions. So my friends were all out having a wild party a few days ago.
Yeah,
and they never really had a problem with COVID in Thailand at all. There was a handful of deaths, and now it's completely back to normal. So,
but they did extend to the end of September.
Tell what this is all about.
They did extend the period of not visiting and everything till the end of September. So I'm keeping an eye on that one as well because.
You think there is a chance that they'll remove the quarantine there?
I don't know. Till the end of September, they will keep the lockdown, how do you call it? Maybe, but I also read a news article, they will only open up in February 2021.
Yeah.
It's the world is just, I think the world is really going crazy.
And it's not going, Didi, it has.
It's even getting worse.
It is. It's completely crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Look, at the end of the day, we've all, I've obviously, talked to you on the regular, Didi. It was such a walking through treacle experience having a crypto media brand for 2 years of a bear market and then just utterly sideways boring. So, on a positive, we're right in the middle of a heap of action here, so I'm certainly not bored.
So on the positive, we've got the volatility is back. So
and I think people are taking what we do a little more seriously now as well, given this.
it's pushing blockchain and crypto adoption in the whole world. You know, it's what Lisa just said. Waves is exploding because they are going to do elections on the Wave platform. So all this COVID the whole flu situation is pushing the adoption of blockchain, which is the positive part. And we need to look at the positive things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can also complain, because you need to complain. If we don't complain, they will just run over us like the whales are running over us sometimes in crypto.
Yeah. So on another note, so hang on, I'm just going to share the screen quickly again.
Profit? Did we make profit?
And an exciting sort of point in Bitcoin. So this is what I was talking about before. So we've just confirmed the top of this head, this pattern here on this inverted head and shoulders. So we're at this point here. We are going to finish around this, and then we're going to come down and retrace. So anyone wanting to get into Bitcoin, DCAing into this sort of $300 here is, I think, potentially going to take us up $1,200 in this next green candle. So next green dildo. So this is Goldilocks in the 3 green dildos. And this is the one to buy. You know that's going to be my next chart. It just has to be. So this will be. This is Lisa. She is Goldilocks, and she's buying this green dildo.
Sean, I'm not only getting excited about all these charts. Now I need to go to the camp event to my wife as well, because man,
yes,
talking about all this stuff.
Diddy, I've been seeing you popping up all over social media lately. You're a busy man.
I'm doing my best, man.
From your camp event the other day.
Yeah, that was with the Wolf of All Street, Scott Welker. Yeah, really cool interview, cool chat. Was a nice chat. I'm doing a lot of interviews again because it's the bull market, so they all start to notice this guy that went all in a long time ago. Of course, the story has evolved, but they still want to hear this old story. How did you do? Why did you do? Or how can you? And I'm looking for the next all-in move. So maybe IOST is the next all-in move for me. It's cool. It's great stories. It's like Lisa is doing. She's a producer.
Lisa, I saw you post today somewhere that you were looking for new story threads for your movie. Don't you?
Yeah. So I've got a really cool sort of theme happening, which I can't
cut
sort
my
of
scene out.
No, that's a pivotal scene.
She describes me as how do you describe me? Graying.
The graying Tinder
graying, but really nice.
No. She said 50 Shades of Grey doing Tinder.
50 Shades of Grey, Diddy. What a big deal. I didn't read on. So.
That's it. So, you're still in there, Sean. You're like, that's a kind of a pivotal scene.
Yes,
so you're not getting cut.
Get Diddy in the movie.
Yeah. So, no, I've got this. I can't say like how it works because I don't want somebody to come in and steal it from me. But I've got this really cool sort of way the movie's connected. That's all I can say. And, I'm adding these little stories in this part that sort of, they jump you out of the actual story and they bring you into the crypto story. So we've got like this story of coin runners and, how this business evolved and sort of, what happened in the business and, money was going missing and there was sort of, my business partner was drug addicted and what sort of happened with that and what happened with me sort of emotionally and how that affected all the business and the trades and stuff like that. But yeah, so then we've got this other story of crypto sort of like threaded through, which is actually really, really exciting and cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to everyone seeing it. It's really coming together.
Diddy? Have you sent it to Diddy at all?
No, I haven't. I should send it to Didi, see what he says.
Yeah. Is Adam going to be in it?
No.
Satoshi?
It's before Adam's time, so.
Okay.
So, funny story. So I have to watch all these like different films, like for scenes and stuff like that. So I was at his place Saturday night and we're watching Boiler Room, which is the Ben Affleck sort of trading movie from the 2000s. And he jumps up at the end of it and he's like, damn, that was really shit. And I'm like, I didn't think it was that bad. And he's like, Wolf of Wall Street has just like killed all these movies. I really love this movie before I saw it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I have a really big challenge to really impress like every male out there that's sort of like really focused on, you know, The Big Short or The Wolf of Wall Street. And, you know, that's my challenge of making my movie so exciting and so sort of, you know, you're on this roller coaster of sort of.
Well, you've lived and breathed it, Lisa. So I've read the script. I think I think that will happen.
Yeah, I think, and it's only getting better. So we're sort of trimming bits and making it, you know, picking up the pace and picking up the excitement at the moment. And yeah, so I really think it's only going to get better. And I think, you know, when you sort of do see it, while it's one of my comparables when I'm shopping the film around, The Wolf of Wall Street, it has that vibe and that energy, but it's a completely different story. And, you know, it takes the general public on this trip that what crypto is to a lot of the people in the community. So, and that's what I kind of want to bring people into. Yeah.
So governments have realised what it is now. They're starting to mine it. I think sovereign wealth funds will be announcing. I mean, people have laughed at me over the years when I've said I think that will happen. Probably not major states, but I fully expect to see some smaller ones playing that game. Interesting times. Didi, we'll let you get back to the family. What do you got planned for today?
Today I need to record my own YouTube video. I still need to do a cool video for Prime. I'm going to do a video for them as well about the co-vesting, because like it's really cool that now you are able to follow people like Lisa and you just make profit by just following other people instead of investing all your other time. I am going to have a lunch and the rest just chill and figure out where to go
on your tan.
Yeah, he's going to work on his tan, because the more tan he gets, the more beautiful his eyes look. And he's like, look at my eyes. That's what Didi does.
Thank you. Now I'm blushing, but you cannot see it because I tan. You know, I'm that black, I'm brown. You know, brown lives matters as well. You see, you know, I'm not blushing. You see the blush. You don't see the blush.
Yeah, I can get it. I can get a tan.
What do you got planned today, apart from getting ready to nail it on Prime as Sean comes into copy?
I'm getting ready to nail it. So, you know, the chart is following. I've got, you know, a chart to the side of me while we're filming here, so I can see that it's moving how I want it to be moving.
Very
and
good.
I'm getting ready to enter a trade. I'm not in a trade. I haven't been in a trade for a couple of days. I've been just watching to make sure Bitcoin's doing what I need it to do. And I'm about to jump in a trade. Yeah,
awesome.
Let's go.
Awesome. Okay. Well, listen, thank you two very much. I really do enjoy our Mondays. And to the viewers, hope you enjoyed this, learned a bit more about where the dildos are heading. Make sure you tune in tomorrow.
Make sure you tune in for the next week's fairy tale.
You know, if Sean, if we keep this progress, last week was 1.5 hours, today is 2 hours, so next week will be 2.5 hours. You're climbing the charts with the show. Jesus.
True. I'll timestamp everything, but yeah, I do enjoy talking with you two, and you know how much editing takes, Didi. It's just hours and hours and hours of time at home.
That's the terrible part. It's a terrible part, the editing.
Yeah.
But
this one I like. It's long form. People are seeing exactly what we're doing. I mean, the show tomorrow is edited, and my God, that's been a lot of week. It's why I haven't been posting other content. It really is chewed up hours and hours.
It's the daily YouTube show I'm making. It's the filming that doesn't take that long. Then the editing takes long, and then you look at the YouTube revenue you're making. And you think I'm not even earning $1 an hour. And then again, we are giving the YouTube revenue away. So I'm doing all this stuff because I just love the industry. I just love what is happening. I love that we are disrupting this whole monetary system. So I think you do it out of the passion, and then
correct.
see. But I can see the numbers growing, man. I think we have 8,000 subscribers at the moment.
Wow.
Most videos are watched like 4,000 times. So yeah, it's growing fast. So that's the cool thing. And then
hang on. Before we go, I need to bring your attention to behind Sean. There looks like there's a treadmill that has plants growing on it. So how is that possible?
Yeah, I think he's growing wheat.
So that treadmill doesn't get used anymore. It's just like It
looks good though, doesn't it? I tell you what I have been doing is swimming. I was a terrible swimmer, I've realized, but now I can do length after length and I just feel great after that. So that's been my exercise when I get out swimming. People, go swimming today.
So he's going swimming and then he's like updating his Tinder
Well, I'm copy trading you, Lisa. I'm fine. I don't have to look at charts now. It's all on you.
so much pressure.
Look how white
so much pressure.
And
look how white I am.
Might even have a couple of beers.
There's no tan ever. It's like,
oh my God.
Yeah,
you guys are able.
Tune in tomorrow and check out our new show, 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum, which we came up with a name, so we think that's something everyone should really, not financial advice, but we think that's a really good mark to try and achieve. And that's the goal of the show. We're starting with very small amounts. We had a small donation from Prime, which we're putting into the copy trading and BTC, and from the projects we cover, and some ETH. So check that out tomorrow, and I will be in touch with you guys during the week. And thank you so much for today.
Thank you
Sean.
Again.
Look after those people. See you next week.
Sean, there's a pussy on the back.
Hang on, Diddy's got a final word. What do you got?
Yeah, there's a pussy
I just saw a
behind
pussy
you.
on your back and behind you.
I only got to deal with the pussy.
Maybe it's the one from Paris Hilton selling for 40 Ethereum.